Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you scared for the future of our planet? Do you sometimes lay awake at night worried that this place we call home will turn into a big ball of fire and that you will die? Are you scared of dying? Well, please stop doing that, because today's video was brought to you by Shell, the fossil fuel giant. Obviously, I'm just kidding. An influencer sponsored by big oil? That would never happen. That's way too dystopian of a thing to be a reality, right? Before we get into the real crux of this video, here are some cool things that Shell, the oil company, has done over the past few years. Every year, they apparently spend $22 million on anti-climate lobbying. Pretty cool stuff that they're doing over here. They have turned the Niger Delta area into like a horrible, unlivable place. The Delta region is where they've been taking a lot of oil from over the past half a century. They've made billions of dollars from the oil that they've extracted from that area. And in return, the people of the Delta region have been really lucky to get to live in an oil-polluted wasteland. Shell's activities in the region have apparently left a number of villages completely uninhabitable. Pretty awesome stuff, guys. Shell is jointly responsible for murders in Nigeria. Don't worry about that. Don't even think about that, please. They've been involved in bribing. They turned a beautiful Bay Area into a goddamn wasteland, leaving 1.5 million tons of waste. Of asphalt waste. Wow, what a cool company. What a cool company that does so many absolutely horrible things. So Shell has done all of these horrible things, but obviously they don't want people to get mad at them for that. Yeah, they've done and are doing all these horrible things, but they didn't want that to, you know, obviously affect their public image. That would be the real tragedy. You know, not the villages that they've destroyed. Or the murders. The public image thing would be really sad. In this article by DSmog, they found tons and tons of British influencers and more from other countries as well who've been sponsored by Shell, promoted to fix this kind of broken public image that they've developed over the years by doing heinous acts. The bad public image that, you know, they very rightfully earned. This guy, Colin Furze, a massive YouTuber, 12 million subscribers, incredibly popular guy, has worked with Shell and co-hosted this 6-week-long virtual competition that challenged students to solve real-life energy challenges, like ruining a village in Niger. That would be a pretty tough challenge. Astronaut Abby, another influencer, co-hosted this competition.
To share that I'm working with Shell on their Pitch the Future competition. This brand new competition is a part of Shell Eco Marathon, where STEM students from around the world help solve 4 real-world energy challenges.
Something so horrifying about one of the big companies that are responsible for ruining our world being like, oh yeah, we're gonna be the ones to save the future. Here at Shell, we're gonna be the ones to help you out. You know, sometimes when influencers promote a bad product or a bad service, you can sort of see where there was an oversight. The influencer may have been tricked by the exact same sort of, you know, little tricks that the company tries to push, fell for the same narrative, and then ended up pushing the same bad product. But this is a massive oil company. This is a massive oil company very clearly trying to get people to think that they're like environmentalists. This is a classic sort of villain plan from a movie. If you've ever watched a movie with like a big oil guy, that would be his evil plan, to seem like the good guy. And I mean, Astronaut Abby here and Colin have very much taken part of that.
Suit jacket? Check. It must be time for the Pitch the Future Awards ceremony.
Pitch the future. The future is with Shell. Say what you want, you know, this company is definitely gonna be shaping our future.
The legend that is Shell Eco Marathon's Norman Koch. Hello, Norman.
Thank you, Colin.
Really, your introductions on
Shell's eco manager. Come on. When a company invests so much money into showing how eco-friendly they are, especially if they're an oil company, how can you take that seriously? How can you take that genuinely in any sort of way? This guy, Alex Galbally, has also made a sponsored post with Shell promoting like one of their cards or something, but after they got contacted by DSmog, he deleted everything to do with that. In Indonesia, they got this photographer, influencer, to promote the first carbon neutral oil, claim that is obviously incredibly ridiculous. If you go to the actual post, even though it definitely looks like an ad, there's nothing to confirm that it is one. No hashtag ad, no nothing. It says captured with Shell on the road, but again, it doesn't say that this is an ad. I'm pretty sure that this post is an ad, you know? This pretty much looks like one. The whole point here, and it was essentially stated by Shell as well, was to get people to think differently about the company while pushing these false solutions to the climate crisis as people become more and more worried about the climate crisis. When in reality, as a Harvard paper has pointed out, these companies have only invested 1.7% of their annual capital in low carbon technologies. In late 2017, Shell sponsored Robert Swan, a popular advocate for the protection of Antarctica. They got this guy to promote their renewable biofuels, which is pretty awesome. People obviously loved this, you know, to hell with you. Pretty awesome comment. Clean up your mess. Go drink oil, you vampires of the earth. That's an awesome, a pretty awesome insult. Vampires of the earth. The PR firm that was behind this campaign with this guy boasted that this whole thing reached 600 million people on social media. It was so successful that it increased positive attitudes towards Shell by 12% and made Shell's audience, I don't know how they get these numbers, 31% more likely to believe that the oil company is committed to cleaner fuels. 31% more committed, but in reality, only 1.7% more committed, I guess. One of the more horrifying, horrible, little creepy sentences that I've read in this article, or in general in my life, has to be, the company tasked Edelman with the job of giving millennials a reason to connect emotionally with Shell's commitment to sustainable future. We needed them to forget their prejudices about big oil and think differently about Shell. That's awesome, man. Imagine being involved with that as an influencer. Imagine getting to make that sort of impact on the world. Something that I've noticed from all of these campaigns is that Shell is always supposed to be in the background of things. You're supposed to remember Shell's name, but you're not supposed to really think about oil. The campaign they did with this guy was about an expedition that he did with his son in the South Pole. He says himself that it was not a Shell story, it was a father and son story, having a good go of it. Which is very clearly their goal, right? You want to associate Shell with this a lovely father and son sort of story. You're not supposed to think about what they're doing to the villages in Niger. That would be a little too much. With the Colin Firth campaign, the focus has obviously been this competition that he's doing with astronaut Abby. It seems like there will never be a video that's very explicit about how this thing is sponsored by Shell, the big oil giant, but more like, I'm working with Shell to give a better opportunity to young scientists, or whatever the hell. And if they do make it explicit, it will be pretty deep into the video or the campaign or whatever.
Welcome to Italy, more specifically Maranello, and more specifically than that, the Ferrari factory.
He was flown to Italy to see the factory for Ferrari? That's pretty cool that this was done to this YouTuber that I like. I wonder who's responsible for that.
You guys know I do a lot of work with Shell, and recently I've been looking at how they're developing their business to kind of handle the increase in electric vehicles.
This is awesome. This is awesome. I love this. Personally, I'm holding on to my optimism, and I don't think that this will ever actually change the wider kind of perception of Shell or any fossil fuel giant. But this is still creepy. This is still really weird, and I hate it. I hate it. Anyways, subscribe for more oil.